everybody, this is Megan Nicole, and you are watching Dame in the Life. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today we are going to be talking about successful writing tips. Now, as I've mentioned before in my previous videos, I've recently quit my job to kind of follow my passion and to start my own business. And that business is going to be writing. I'm currently working on fiction and nonfiction books and blogging as well, and that's kind of where my passion lies. Just words in general. Any way that I can get word content out, that's my thing. So I have previously written in my Dame in the Life blog 2 other articles about successful writing, and this is now going to be my third advice and tips on successful writing. So of course I was going to do a video to follow up with that. So let's jump into my tips and advice on successful writing habits. Number 1 is going to be word count. Now, the reason of word count in the beginning isn't to make amazing content all at once, but it's to get you in the habit of being able to write consistently and effectively a certain kind of number of words. And a lot of people will say they start off with a specific word count. Mine personally is 3,500 words a day, but again, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, and I need to push myself. But once you get comfortable putting your butt in the seat and getting words on the screen, you really don't need to keep track of that so much as you progress. I currently am doing it, but I know a lot of authors will say that they've started off with word count, and then towards the end, they really don't need to do it anymore because they have their flow, they have their feel of their day. And it kind of works out for them. So if you're writing a book specifically, I would say focus on word count. As far as blogging or anything else like that, just kind of put your butt in the chair and finish one article. Now, even if you go back to revise it, it's still, the words are still there, so you can kind of manipulate it and play around, add, subtract the next day or the following day to make it even better. My number 2 tip is going to be write down every idea that you guys have. Now, I'm going to be writing something, or I'll be in the car, or I will be writing a blog, or, focusing on my nonfiction, and I'll have an idea come to my mind. It'll be, just a sentence, or kind of a concept, or a storyline, or something, just whatever it is. When it comes to my mind, I always stop and I write it down. Now, I've mentioned this before again in my blog, but I use Evernote for everything. Evernote is an app that you use, and it helps me keep all of my ideas in order and organized. So I have it separated by topics. I have like blog topics. I have a couple different book outlines in there. So whenever I come up with an idea, I throw it in Evernote, and I can always refer back to it later on. One of the biggest things that writers have after a while of doing it is they run out of ideas. And if you can just simply jot down an idea, a sentence, anything like that, you can always go back to it later and expand on that and maybe come up with a blog idea or a short story outline or anything like that. So always write down your ideas. My number 3 topic is going to be develop your ideas. Now, I am a huge, gigantic fan of outlining. I personally have to outline everything. I know some authors can just like write on the fly and they come up with this amazing story and they've never once had an outline. I can't do that. I have to have my outline all together. I have to have my start, my end, my middle, my ending. I need to have everything outlined because to me, the organization helps me just kind of fill in the blanks. It makes the process much more easy and effective. So with the outlining process, which I talk about in length in my other blog articles, I'm going to take it one step further and to say this time it's development or just develop. And it's developing either your character, your plot line, your article, whatever it may be. So you have these awesome ideas, and let's just say they're on like a skeleton of an outline. Now, if you don't develop that outline, you're never going to have a story. So developing aspect of it is just that next step to getting more content, more juice, more body of your story, article, nonfiction, whatever you may be working on. Now, my 4th topic is going to be to share your work. And a lot of people are very hesitant about this because they have this amazing storyline and it's not completely done yet. And if they put anything out there, they're afraid someone might take their idea and kind of run with it. It's been known to happen, but there's some ways to protect yourself from that. But it is important to get your work out there so you can get positive, maybe not so much positive but so you can get feedback, viable feedback. And by viable feedback, I mean send it to a viable source. You don't just want to put it out there for anybody to look at, because some people are just out there to negatively criticize any little thing that you may do. Hey, that opening sentence is horrible, it sucks, fix your entire book. Whereas if you share it with friends, with family, with other authors, a social group that you might have built over the length of your writing career, send them your first chapter and see what their feedback is. Hey, you might be lacking on character development, or the plot line, what is it? We don't know what it is. It should at least kind of be said within the first chapter of a book. So always send things out for feedback. Always share your work and share it for feedback purposes. Now, with blogs, it's a bit different. You write it, it's your opinion, you throw it up there, and people will always have stuff to comment on. And that is essentially sharing your work. When you post something, that's sharing it. So on all aspects, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, or blogging, share your work, get it out there, more for the writers prior to publishing, just to get that feedback and see if there's any tweaks that you may be able to make to make your book that much better. And my fifth and last tip on writing is to exercise. Now, that has absolutely nothing to do with writing, but let me tell you, within the past couple of weeks, I've been sitting literally all day long. Like, I sit all day, I'll get up and eat, I'll get up and go to the bathroom, and then I'll just come back and sit. Like, I have been writing all day long. Way more sitting at a desk than when I was actually at my desk job, and kind of not even realizing it. I have my iWatch, and it has a step counter on it, and I've realized that I've taken like 2,000 less steps writing from home than I did when I was actually at work, which I was only at about 4,000 to 6,000 steps to begin with. Subsequently, my back is killing me, and I can feel like my body tightening up. So I make it a point now to get up and at least take a lap, to walk around like once every hour. Again, I have my Apple Watch, and it tells me to like stand up, and it kind of helps to remind me just to take a break, get up. But I've also been doing some yoga, some flexible yoga specifically, so I can strengthen my body, stretch out my body, and it's not so tight and compact from sitting all day and writing. Well, those are my 5 tips for successful writing. And excuse me, I'm going to look at my notes one more time, but it's going to be word count, write your ideas down, develop your story, share your work, and be sure to exercise and get up and work your body if you're sitting literally all day long, because that's not good for you whatsoever. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. You guys can find me at dameinthelife.com, also on Instagram and Twitter at dameinthelife, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.